Welcome back, Warriors faithful. Before we jump into tonight's whirlwind of speculation, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report so you never miss a beat of this off-season chaos. Word out of the Bay is that two seismic storylines are colliding, and both could reshape our championship window. Whispers of a potential blockbuster involving a generational superstar and the looming decision on whether to hold on to one of our most electrifying young talents. Let me set the stage without giving away the crown jewel just yet, because breaking that name too early would rob us of the thunderous impact it deserves. First, the undercurrent that has been rippling through every front office corridor at the NBA Combine, rumors that a certain two-time MVP is quietly simmering with discontent in Milwaukee and might soon pull the trigger on a trade request. This is not your average off-season chatter. We're talking about a man whose mere presence in the paint transforms the entire dynamic of a game, someone who almost single-handedly guided his team to an NBA title in 2021 and routinely flirted with averaging 30 points and double-digit rebounds season after season. Sources whispered to Bleacher Report that this titan has grown restless, and his preferred destination? Well, that's where Golden State's name keeps popping up. But hold on, more on that momentarily. Meanwhile, a parallel storyline is stealing. Headlines closer to home. Our rising star, Jonathan Kuminga, fresh off a roller coaster rookie contract, is set to hit restricted free agency. The question on everyone's lips: do we match any offer and keep this slasher-turned-sharpshooter in Golden State blue and gold? Or do we leverage his market value to bring back the kind of size and draft capital that could elevate our roster in unexpected ways? Anthony Slater of The Athletic broke down how Jamal Murray's explosive season might shift the balance of power across the West, and now he's suggesting that the Warriors could explore sign-and-trade scenarios to address a glaring need for more length and rim protection. Could we really let Kuminga walk if he earns a lucrative offer? Or will Steve Kerr's system need to adapt to accommodate his unbridled athleticism and untapped three-point potential? Let's rewind to the Combine buzz. Teams and agents milling about, dissecting every prospect and quietly gauging the temperature on potential trade machinations. Inside sources say the consensus was that if this superstar really does lean toward Golden State, the front office would have to mortgaging their future, likely surrendering multiple first-round picks and promising youngsters in a package that Milwaukee simply can't refuse. We're talking Brandon Podziemski's cold-blooded shooting, Jonathan Kuminga's freakish bounce and length, and perhaps Andrew Wiggins' contract as salary filler. But would the Bucks really bite on that formula? And even if they did, could the Warriors absorb that kind of haul without unraveling the core chemistry that has defined our dynasty? Now imagine the ripple effect if this deal actually materializes. In an instant, our lineup goes from Splash Brothers plus supporting cast to Splash Brothers plus physical wrecking ball. Picture Steph Curry's gravity-defying threes, drawing defenders out beyond the arc, only to see this incoming freight train crash the glass for thunderous dunks and relentless boards. Could this pairing create an offensive juggernaut so lethal that the rest of the Western Conference scrambles to retool just to keep pace? Think about the Lakers, reinventing their own roster in response. Think about the Suns, who have already dangled max offers for backcourt studs. Suddenly, every contender's off-season plan feels obsolete if we actually land this MVP. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have to weigh the risks of a mid-season injection of star power. Chemistry is not built overnight, and the Warriors' identity has always been predicated on selfless ball movement, off-ball cuts, and a collective will to defend as a unit. Introducing a high-usage superstar could disrupt patterns that were refined over countless playoff battles. Will Coach Steve Kerr be able to integrate this new force into our pick-and-roll orchestra without sacrificing the spacing that makes Draymond Green's defensive rotations possible? Could the addition inadvertently limit Klay Thompson's destruction from the corners? The speculation alone has fans split. Some chant dynasty renewed, others caution don't fix what's not broken. Switching gears to our young sensation, Jonathan Kuminga. As he approaches restricted free agency, his camp is reportedly seeking a payday that reflects his potential as a two-way weapon. He flashed glimpses of becoming an all-star candidate when he averaged near 20 points per game off the bench toward the end of the last season. He shot 40% from three in the playoffs, an eye-popping feat for a slasher who can also beat you off the bounce. But his inconsistencies, look-off passes, streaky shooting, occasional lapses on defense, have fueled whispers that the Warriors might explore a sign-and-trade to acquire the size we desperately need. Hear this. Draymond's all-world defense depends on having a mop-up crew that can rebound and switch. If Kuminga walks for a cheap deal elsewhere, could we bring back a rim protector like Anthony Davis? Or maybe a budding star from Brooklyn with length and shot-blocking prowess? The thought alone makes your pulse quicken. Of course, letting Kuminga depart would sting. He grew alongside this core, learning the nuances of Kerr's motion offense, and when he caught fire late in the season, it felt like glimpsing the future. But we also have to consider the long-term championship window. If adding a max contract superstar means giving up enough assets to reshape our roster for sustained contention, is that a sacrifice worth making? Or is it better to bank on Kuminga's growth, trust he'll become the next Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, while staying true to our blue-collar ethos? Warriors fans, this is the conundrum. Do you tether the franchise to a generational talent who commands the paint and forces defenses into a living nightmare? Or do you stick with the blueprint that delivered 3 titles in 4 years, banking on Kuminga's ascension to fill any interior void? Both paths carry weighty consequences, and every franchise executive in the NBA is watching our decision, like hawks. As the clock ticks toward training camp, front office chess pieces will move and rumors will escalate. Will we wake up to headlines declaring, Warriors land 2-time MVP in shocking swap? Or will we read, Warriors match Kuminga's offer, keeping their rising star at all costs? The tension is palpable, so stay tuned, because in Part 2, we'll dissect the precise trade scenarios, the salary cap gymnastics, and the ultimate calculus on what this means for our title aspirations. For now, let these questions simmer. Could Golden State really orchestrate a trade of this magnitude? Is it possible that Kuminga's development is the true centerpiece of our future success? And most importantly, what does this web of speculation reveal about the identity we're molding for the next championship run? I'll be watching every headline alongside you because this offseason might just redefine Warriors basketball once more. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report because you don't want to miss any breaking news this offseason. Now, Warriors Nation, let's dig into exactly what it would take to pull off a trade for that Milwaukee superstar and how our front office might navigate the maze of draft picks, salaries, and positional needs. To pry a 2-time MVP away from the Bucks, Golden State would need to put together an offer that not only entices Milwaukee's front office but also safeguards our long-term health. Rumors around the league hint that the centerpiece of the package could be Brandon Podziemski, our rookie marksman whose floor spacing already garners respect, alongside Jonathan Kuminga, whose blend of length, speed, and raw athleticism has caught everyone's eye. Layer on 3 unprotected first-round picks in 2026, 2028, plus a swap option in 2027, giving Milwaukee a stockpile of future assets. Finally, include a veteran salary like Andrew Wiggins to balance the books. This mix of young prospects, draft capital, and immediate salary relief is precisely the kind of haul that might force Milwaukee to at least consider disrupting their own plans. But let's peel back another layer. Executing this blockbuster requires serious cap maneuvering. Our roster is already flirting with the luxury tax after maxing out Curry, Thompson, Green, and the rest of our core. The first move could be a sign and trade, extend a max contract to our incoming star, and then immediately flip it in exchange for matching salaries and assets. Next, the Warriors might pursue buyouts for veterans on expiring deals, think Otto Porter Jr. or Nemanja Bjelica, to free up cap space without gutting the rotation. If that still isn't enough, the front office could employ the stretch provision on an existing contract, spreading its cap hit over several seasons to create a one-time exception. Each of these steps carries risk: losing veteran leadership, disrupting our championship-proven rotation, or thinning our bench depth. Yet weigh those risks against having a two-time MVP alongside Curry's gravity-defying shooting and Draymond's defensive mastery, and the gamble begins to feel worth it. On the floor, picture how our lineup might evolve. Steph Curry remains the offensive engine, probing defenses with his unparalleled court vision and dragging help defenders beyond the three-point line. That gravity opens lanes for our incoming superstar to attack the rim and gobble up rebounds. Draymond Green would likely shift back to a more traditional point-forward role, initiating offense and anchoring our defense with his uncanny ability to read plays. Klay Thompson, freed from heavy playmaking duties, would slide into an off-ball catch-and-shoot role, letting the threat of our two-time MVP crashing the paint keep defenses honest. Could this quartet, Curry, Thompson, Green, and our new addition, blend as seamlessly as the teams that brought 3 titles to Chase Center in 4 years? Some insiders think so, given the incoming star's reputation for unselfishness and work ethic. He's known to defer when necessary and thrives in systems that emphasize ball movement over isolation. Yet skeptics warn that integrating a high-usage, high-impact superstar midseason carries pitfalls. Changing established shot distributions, pick-and-roll frequencies, and defensive rotations could undermine the fluid chemistry that's our hallmark. How will Coach Steve Kerr adjust spacing schemes so that adding a paint-crashing force doesn't clog lanes for Klay's corner threes? Those answers won't be clear until practice reports come in, but one thing's certain: this chatter has Warriors Nation divided. Some fans are chanting "Dynasty Reborn," envisioning another banner in the rafters, while others caution that going all in too quickly could dismantle the chemistry that delivered recent championships. Warriors Nation, this off-season saga is far from over. In just a few weeks, we might wake up to headlines proclaiming Warriors land two-time MVP in stunning swap, or Warriors match Kuminga's offer, keeping their rising star. Each scenario carries far-reaching consequences, and every fan will have a take. Personally, I'm thrilled at the sight of our Splash Brothers flanked by a paint-dominating force. Just envision Curry threading pinpoint passes to a monster finisher at the rim. Yet part of me clings to our identity, a relentless, team-first mindset where every player knows exactly how they fit. If surrendering multiple first-round picks and young talent upends that balance, we risk trading our soul for a brief fireworks display. Ultimately, it comes down to faith. Faith in our front office's ability to navigate this maze. Faith in Coach Kerr's capacity to meld talent into seamless chemistry, and faith in our collective belief that this franchise always finds a way to rise. So, Warriors Nation, what do you think? Are you willing to mortgage our future for an instant leap into superstardom? Or do you trust our blueprint, developing Kuminga into the next cornerstone? I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay golden.